All right. Well, thanks for coming today, Jackie.
Well, you're welcome. I'm sort of looking forward to this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited because, I mean, my wife Jenna talks actually so much about you and talks about a different tree project here and how resilient you are with your health and
Yeah,
overcoming challenges
yeah. There are challenges, believe me. When you get this old, things happen that you just never dreamed of.
yeah,
You know, you're well all your life and strong and gee, but I can't dig holes anymore, Gabriel. I
yeah,
used to be able to get in there and help dig the holes to plant those trees, but not anymore.
yeah.
You'd bury me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to hear though. You got volunteers and stuff
Yeah. Oh,
helping
yeah.
out.
Yes.
So,
It goes up and down, Gabriel. Sometimes you have a lot of them, and then sometimes there's three of us. So you never know what you're going to get.
yeah.
So
Well, before we dive too much into like Save Our Forest
yes,
and Fallbrook and all the wonderful work you do,
yes,
and I'd love to just explore, where did you grow up and
yeah.
what was your childhood like? And I mean,
I was
yeah,
preparing for this all the
yeah,
time when I grew up. Really, when I look back, as you've made me think now,
yeah,
I was born and raised in Norwalk, California, 1930,
okay,
and my parents. My mom was not a working mom. Well, gosh, in those days, moms stayed at home. They were housewives and child care people.
yeah,
And she was a real gardener. We gardened a lot. My parents had bought a 3-acre orange grove, and my dad worked in the oil fields, but he also ran a small orange grove ranch that we would sell oranges on the side of the road on weekends. We'd set up a table, and gosh, we did pretty good. We had people who came and visited us every month, and from LA and from all around the big cities and stuff. So I really was sort of a country girl. We were not in town. We had no neighbors. It was quite a walk to the neighbor that was to the west of us, and my only playmates lived about a half a mile from us, and it was an entire family of Hispanic children, and there must have been 10 of us, and we played hide and seek in the groves at night and so on. So it was really a country growing up experience. When I got older, I met my husband at church. He was in the military. He was a
okay,
Navy man. And after dating him and going with him for over a year, we got married. Had a nice big wedding in Norwalk at my home grounds, a garden wedding, and it was an outside wedding. And I packed up all my belongings and left and never came back, except for a visit. So we went to his first duty station. He was an enlisted man in those days. He and I traversed 30 years of the Navy. He got a commission became an officer after he'd been in 17 years already. So he had another 13 years that he did as an officer, and a different way of life, believe me, in the military. It's a very close-knit group when you're in a squadron. He was a maintenance officer, so he was in a squadron of pilots and planes, et cetera, and it was his responsibility to take care of all the planes. So we had a great life. We've lived on the East Coast, we've lived in the South, we've lived overseas, we've been in Japan, we've lived in the Philippines, and we lived in Hawaii twice. So we've had sort of a touring experience, never staying in any place long enough. I'm getting to tell you that's why I'm here and staying so long, because we were seldom ever anywhere any longer than possibly 2 years.
oh wow,
And often much less than that. So you never really get to dig in and become part of the community too much. And of course, we had children along the way, 3,
okay,
and my son is 74. Puts me up there, but it was an exciting life, an interesting life. I don't regret any of it because when you are in a military family where you move from place to place, your children are far more worldly. They learn to adjust to different places, different cultures, etc. And it's a pretty neat life, believe me. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of women can't adjust to this, but by golly, it worked fine for me. It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So he retired in 1971, and we had been to Fallbrook to visit. His niece lived here for many years, a well-established family. That he was with the Steiger family, and she married a Steiger family, and so we decided this was where we wanted to live. We'd had some pretty good choices, but this is where we liked. It was small, it was rural, the community was very friendly. Even then, it's really changed a lot, Gabriel, lately. After this many years. So many people have come in from other communities, from big cities where you really don't know your neighbor even very well.
Yeah.
And but in those days when we arrived here, when you walked down the street, everybody said, "Good morning, how are you today?" And so we thought, I think we made a good choice. So we've been here ever since. My husband died in the year 2002, and so I've been here ever since. I decided this is the place I want to stay the rest of my life. I'm not going off somewhere other place and start all over. It is too hard to start over.
Yeah.
So I'm not. So that's how come I'm here. How come I'm so deeply involved with the community? Because the people here in those days, and they still are very accepting of you and are happy to be your friend and help you. So that's how it happened, how I got here, why I'm staying here.
Yeah, right on.
Yes.
And then do you still have family here, or have they moved on? Or
No, my son lives in Fallbrook.
Okay.
He's been around ever since, long before he retired. He was a San Diego city fire department man. Yeah.
I bet he and my dad probably know each other.
Maybe.
Yeah, my dad's a retired fire captain with the city of San Diego.
Oh, really? And what's
Yeah.
his name?
Ken Rodriguez, or K-Rod. Yeah.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, I bet it's a small community.
Yes, it is. It is.
know,
And there's a
yeah.
group of guys that get together, firemen that get together here in Fallbrook. Does your dad go to that group?
No, they're still down south in East County.
they're
but they're
still-
looking to move to like Oceanside to be closer to the kids. And
Yeah.
My other sister's in like
Well,
Scripps
there's
Ranch.
a lot of firemen who get together every Friday
Okay.
in Fallbrook. So that's sort of a little group that has so many years of experience that they like to share old times. So
Nice.
at any rate, yeah. So he's retired, been retired for 20 years. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Anyway, he's retired, and for a while some years ago, he actually worked for Save Our Forest, maintaining a lot of our new plantings in town. And then I have two daughters that were 6 and 7 when we came here, and one lives in Encinitas and the other one lives in Morro Bay up in Northern California.
Morro's pretty too.
Oh man, it's a neat town.
I like
It's a
golfing
real
there.
town. It's
Yeah.
not an unincorporated community. They are a
Okay.
real city.
Yeah.
But it's a very nice town. They love it up there, and it's really pretty up there. So
It is. Stays cool.
Yeah, and the big rock. They have that big rock that's out. The big rock. My daughter can look right out her front window and see it. It's right a block and a half away. So, at any rate, my family's. I get to see my daughter real often. She comes up quite often, and of course I see Russ all the time. He just lives probably a quarter of a mile from me, so that's
how lovely.
good. So you see, that's one of the big reasons I'm staying here.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, Encinitas is just down, not too far.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
love surfing in Encinitas.
Oh yeah.
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 It's real
Anyway, that's the story of my attachment and digging in Fallbrook, and I sort of got caught up in a few things that have sort of eaten up my life, and it's been actually 30 years that I've been working with Save Our Forest.
Oh, okay.
And then I had traveled to see my cousin who lived in Cambria, and that community started a Scarecrow Days many years ago.
Oh.
So with that in mind, I went to the chamber and talked to a few people back in 2012 and got them started on Scarecrow Days, and it caught on and it's still going. So that's a good thing. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah.
A fun ride.
That's fun.
So I've gotten to know downtown people real well, and I'm not so good anymore about building scarecrows because I can't get up and down off the floor. Once I'm down, so I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But this new group of gals are so talented that they've taken over, and they're just wonderful. It's like professional Hollywood work, some of them. So I'm really pleased with that group. They've done a big thing for Fallbrook, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them around town during the holiday, and I'm like, okay, right on.
Yeah, right.
Fun.
Yeah, we have the silent people out at near the Grand Tradition.
Yeah.
And that's always fun. They're walking to town. I don't know whether you ever really noticed that, but they're all headed in the same direction. And usually we have at least 50 or more out there in the field. So they're all on their way to town.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you learn about Save Our Forest then when you were in Fallbrook? How'd you...
Well, actually, I didn't learn about it. I started it.
There you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
Right.
Jenna sharing that with me.
Yeah. The beginning of that was our first home, 39 years, was on Live Oak Park Road.
Okay.
And back in 1972, when we first came here, one of the first things that happened when we were first here was that all of a sudden I'm driving down the street where all of it's a very curvy road and lined with giant ancient oak trees, and that was a perfect place for us to buy. I loved the place. We bought 3 acres, and all of a sudden there's big yellow marks on several of the trees, the ones that were closer to the road.
Huh.
The road then, because I became very interested, because the county marked the trees, that they were going to remove them. There were, I think there were 22 trees marked for destruction. And my neighbor and lady up the road, Jean Combs, and her husband Roger, were very alarmed. They were going to cut down these trees and widen the road. The road in that time, Gabriel, was only 16 feet wide, just enough for 2 lanes, 8 feet wide, to wind down through these trees. Some of them, the trees were right on the edge of the cement, of the asphalt, I should say. Don't call it cement, it doesn't. So it was alarming, to say the least, that 22 trees were going to be cut down. So I learned how to deal with things like that. You contact the supervisor, you contact the traffic department, you contact the Department of Public Works, you find out all about how it works. And we contacted Victor Pinkney, who lived here in Fallbrook at the time. He was a state-renowned landscape architect. In fact, built our Fallbrook High School swimming pool.
Oh.
So, and I had met he and his wife, and he talked with us about the trees and the importance, of trying to preserve these trees, et cetera, et cetera. So we did run the gamut. We got them to stop for temporarily just by going to the Board of Supervisors, our representative, District 5. We are in District 5 here. And we went to the traffic committee, and they decided to back off. They cut down 2 trees only, and it made common sense. I mean, you can throw yourself around a tree and strap yourself to the tree, but geez, sometimes you need to give up. It wasn't. It was right on the edge of the road. And having lived there at that time for a short while, even I realized that these major crashes you could hear in the middle of the night were real. They were cars running into trees. They shouldn't have been driving so fast and so crazy on such a curvy road, but they did.
Right.
So you'd have to have some common sense and not strap yourself to the tree. No, not good. So everything went well for about 20 years. And in 1992, again, they came, and this time they were serious. They marked 19 trees that time. And we again went through the process. And about that time, in the early in the 70s somewhere, I don't know where, Roger Bodart, who is called the tree man of Fallbrook, he writes an article in the newspaper, in the Village News Weekly, and he got wind of it, and that's when I met Roger, and he came up with several good ideas. We began to gather signatures, number one. We went to the school district and talked to them allowing us to come to the students and create a contest where all the students in the elementary school district drew pictures. So all of these primary age kids, third and fourth grade kids and maybe even second grade, drew pictures. We took all those pictures and we trudged back down to the Traffic Advisory Committee again with a video in our hand that we took driving down the street at 40 miles per hour. At that time, the street had never, that section from Resch Road all the way to East Mission had absolutely no speed limit lines in it. When we talked to the Highway Patrol, they told us, well, the reason we haven't done it, none of our, they call them gyros. They put in the vehicle, they drive down the road at certain speeds, and they told me they couldn't get an accurate speed because there's so many curves. You have to slow down, you have to speed up, you slow down, you speed up. So they couldn't get a reasonable speed limit to post. Oh, really? So you can't post a speed limit. So that's why we made the videoing the leaning against the back of a pickup truck, driving at 40 miles per hour down that street.
Yeah.
And so that they could see a video what driving at 40 miles per hour looked like. Scary. Believe me, wasn't fun. So at any rate, we took the video, went to the Traffic Advisory Committee. Many of the problems with the trees were not so much the width of the road and the curvy road, but the low-hanging branches. So again, we lost a major branch that was probably 12 inches in diameter over the road near the collector's gem shop. And we lost one other tree that was right on the big giant sycamore that had a trunk probably 3 feet in diameter right on the edge of the road. Just a prime tree for somebody to run into. It was right immediately on the edge of the asphalt. So we lost the over the road big branch by the collector, and we lost that tree. And we went to we did say that we realized those two need to go. We took the video, and they ended up, because the Highway Patrol said they cannot gauge an accurate speed limit to post, but they ended up marking every tree that was possible to be hit. It was marked with the height of the tree because I later learned, and now I have to abide by this, the road clearance for a tree has to be 16 feet to accommodate trucks. So 16 feet high is, most trucks are 16 feet or less high. So if your branches and your trees are pruned 16 feet and above, then you're okay. You're within the limits. And one of the other reasons that they did this is because that branch, I skipped an important part of it. That branch that was over the road at the collector, a man, actually my son, was building a house on the bottom acre we gave him. And the drywall truck, which was a big white box truck, like all of them, they're all pretty similar, same thing, came along, turned right, went under that branch and ripped the top off of his truck. He sued the county, and the county said, okay, that branch is going. So at any rate, from then on, we didn't have any problem. And the reason we were so protective of that road, Gabriel, was because that was the original old 395.
Oh, wow.
That was the road that was a wagon trail when the point in Temecula where the covered wagons came from the east, and they stopped. They have that big circle at the end of the old town in Temecula. That was where that road started to get to San Diego. Left that site where they ended. There were no more roads. The wagon trail that they developed left Temecula, came up over the hill, went down old 395, and the Rory Paws, who are both deceased now, told me that when he was a child, he rode that road in a buggy with his mom and dad to get to San Diego. So it was interesting to realize that was the connecting road.
So the one here off Live Oak right here?
Yes. So so the county then moved the road. It's still posted as the original old 395. When you drive down there, you can see the signs.
Such a pretty road.
Yeah, it is. But then they, of course, created 395 over next to the freeway. So that's 395 as we know it today.
Okay.
But that old road, we were trying to be very protective of it because it is sort of a neat road.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous place to drive.
Yeah.
So that's how I got sort of started in this tree thing, protecting trees. So then sort of skate along to 20 years later.
What made you so passionate about the trees? I know you grew up with, growing up with the land, gardening, and you moved around a lot because of the military. And
all I could see was cutting down all of these tries, and it's going to look terrible. And I'm sure you noticed that some people do crazy things, pruning trees, and they do what's topping them, and it makes them so ugly.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible.
Oh, my wife has a lot to say about how I cut trees.
Yeah. Listen, don't get me started on that, because I'm bad. I get really upset. At any rate, so that was 1992, 93. In Fallbrook, we had a year of rain that you would not believe. It rained 57 inches in our little Live Oak Canyon where I lived. Now, as you know, it can be raining here, and it won't be raining at my house.
Right.
So even a half a mile away, it may not be raining, but it's raining here.
Yeah.
So that little canyon, because of the deep depth of it, etc., seemed to trap that rain that year, and we lost overnight. One night, we lost 17 giant oak trees.
Oh, wow.
Fell on Live Oak Park Road between Resch Road and Old East Mission. We lost 17 trees. That really, nobody could drive there. We couldn't get out. Nobody who lived there could drive out. There was no way to get anywhere. So we had to walk out. It was quite an adventure, believe me, for the time it took. And the county came and cleared the road, but that decided us that we needed to do something about replacing trees and place them in places where they were not on the road and would be protected, to protect that old ancient oak forest that's there. So we, Roger Bodart got involved. He had a connection with Maddock Nursery, knew them well, and they donated 100 and, let's see, how many trees? 160 trees.
Wow.
We had we organized a big tree planting. We had probably well over 100 people come. We met at Live Oak Park. The North County Fire Department came down and were our safety guards for being on the road, because we were literally on the road.
It's a busy road.
It's traveled. So they were directing traffic around and helping us. And in one morning, we planted all 100 trees from East Mission to Via Sara, which is up past the park.
Okay.
And then 65 of the trees were planted on Live Oak Park itself.
Oh, wow.
So it was a really wonderful adventure. It was a great thing. The Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts and everything came and helped us, brought their families. And we planted most of them on private property because they were donated to us. And the reason I emphasize that so much is because when I write for a grant and get grant monies to buy trees through monies for a grant, it has to be on public property. You cannot use trees provided to you with public funds to plant on your private property.
Interesting.
So in other words, you have to go through getting a permit and all this jazz and tell them where you're going to plant the trees, et cetera. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Believe me, it's a lot of work. So at that time, the Land Conservancy, that you know and recognize today as a wonderful big organization, had been formed in 1988. And they invited us, and we looked at it, and because our purpose at that point and had exhibited that we could muster people to plant trees, that people in Fallbrook love trees and they're willing to work a morning to plant trees. That was the winter of 92, 93. So we joined and came under the corporate cover of the Fallbrook Land Conservancy. When we were first organized those first years, we called ourselves Save the Oaks. But when we got under the corporate cover of the Land Conservancy and began to dream about what could come from that, that opened the door for us to apply for urban forestry grants because we were part of a nonprofit whose purpose was to keep Fallbrook rural and green. So that was how we got started, and that was in the winter of 92, 93. And we did our first grant and got a grant from California Relief. We planted 110 trees in downtown Fallbrook on one Saturday afternoon. So it was quite a big adventure. Every one of those 110 sites I had to get an individually permitted tree planting permit. They don't cost anything, so it's not a big money investment, but it's a big time investment because you have to talk with the property owner either in person or by mail, because I learned then many of the properties in Fallbrook are not owned by local residents. They're owned by people in other communities. And it's quite an adventure, believe me.
Yeah.
It's time consuming, but we had a wonderful, that was such a fun day, an exciting day. I have pictures of people planting all over town. I mean, they were not just on Main Street. They were in side streets, often other areas, and restaurants donated food for us after we got all planted. We had a brunch that was fit for a king, and everybody had a great time. We had music. Ken Graydon and, what was that other guy's name? Played the banjo. Anyway, they came and performed, and it was terrific. It really was. And it's so contagious that we continued. Yeah. So in the meantime, that 92, 93, here we are. It's 23 years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have acquired $265,000 in grant money to plant trees.
Right on.
We've planted over 3,000 trees in town. We got one huge grant from Caltrans when the divided highway south of South Mission Road was first developed, and they gave us $174,000 to plant both sides of the street. And we planted a lot of trees because the easements, the county easements, owned on either side of the street, some of them are 30 feet wide because of the hilly area it is. Some of them are only 10 feet wide, some areas. But it goes from where the divided highway begins at Rocky Crest and ends at Winter Warm just beyond the high school.
Okay.
So that was a really wonderful event. That was in the year 2000. And it took us a year to get all them planted. With that amount of money, we were able to hire a professional company to bring in a major truck with a crane and plant trees up those 30-foot slopes where we would never put our volunteers to plant.
Well, how big would the average tree be that you're planting?
Well, in those days, when you start sometimes like that, it's a 15-gallon tree.
15 gallons.
Right,
So it's like maybe 20, 30 feet tall?
Oh, no,
Max?
probably in maximum maybe 14 or 15.
14, 15
Yeah.
feet? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was 1,750 trees and shrubs.
Wow.
That was how many things were planted there. Much of it with a professional company because they realized that I wasn't going to put my volunteers. I've worked on that bank before, and it's very easy, I know from experience, to slide and slip down maybe 15 feet before you can stop.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
So it was a real challenge. One of my volunteers was a retired Marine, and he went to the base, and they helped us. We called them tree festivals, all those tree plantings that we had all those years. And we had a big pancake breakfast, major market, Albertsons, grocery stores in town gave us ham and eggs and pancake mix and all kinds of things. And then the Camp Pendleton Marines brought a huge red and gold tent out and put up the tent, and we borrowed tables from the community center, and we had tables in there. There must have been, I don't know how many people. There had to be 250 people that came to on the day where we were planting where they could be on a flat surface. But all of the other ones that were really in steep areas were done by a professional company.
Yeah.
So
You throw big parties.
yeah. So yeah, you sort of begin to learn what you can and can't do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to get any volunteers hurt or anything.
No,
So
yeah.
yeah.
In the trees you predominantly then plant are live oaks, or
No.
What's your
not all.
favorite tree to plant in town, or how do you mix it up?
You cannot plant. You have to try, when you're planting in town, you have to plant trees that are on the county's list. Oaks cannot be planted on a main street in town. Their root system is too invasive, they're too big, they grow too tall. Everything about them is not good. Sycamores are not street trees. So you have to conform and plant and select from the street trees that is listed for planting. You can't just plant anything you want to, not at all.
Yeah.
So you have to stick with that.
Got it. And what are your favorite trees usually on that list?
Well, my favorite tree, which unfortunately has proved to be a big problem, is the flowering pear. The pear that blooms the white blossoms all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely tree, and in the spring, it's the trees that are in the village square.
Oh, yeah.
And in the spring, I have some beautiful pictures because they'll just all be covered with white blossoms, and they're lovely. They are prone to get fire blight, which is a deadly disease. It's born in the wood. It gets into the wood, and there's just the only way you can get rid of it is to take that wood out. You have to cut way back into fresh green wood. So it has proven to be a problem, unfortunately. We have a lot of them on Main Street. One of the trees that has been very good, it's evergreen, is an Australian willow.
Okay.
And it's sort of like a weeping willow. It has long, skinny branch leaves. As I say, evergreen. It does not create a big, beautiful canopy that you like to see, but it's more of I think you'd call it a pyramid kind of tree. It's full-bodied. it grows to about 35 feet. And by the way, that is usually the height limit that street trees should be, 35 feet. And remember my caution earlier about that the road clearance from the roadbed to the bottom of the canopy
Right.
has to be a minimum of 16 feet. So it's your responsibility to take care of the tree and make sure that it remains acceptable by the county, or else they'll come out and do bad things to it, believe me.
So who comes out when I see these tree trimmers on the streets and they make it look real pretty, or they make the clearance a certain way? And I see those guys.
You are going to see the people we hire. Remember, we're an unincorporated community. There
Right.
are no funds for hiring that. The county doesn't do it.
Right.
The county will come if something falls in the street, a tree falls in the street, they're there, they'll pick it up. Not too long ago, a drunk driver hit a tree, the large orchid tree that was in front of the Mission Theater, cracked the trunk up and down. Big branches were broken and hanging. They had to take out the whole tree. There was no saving it. So if something like that happens, they will take care of it. However, normal pruning, no. So Save Our Forest pays for it.
Okay. So thanks for keeping it pretty.
Right. So we have been hiring. Now we have this community benefit district, which will fund us for things like our tree pruning because it's beneficial to the community.
Yeah.
It provides shade. It makes it cleans the air. It does all the wonderful things. It breaks up the winter rainfalls. It helps to disseminate that water and doesn't create flooding and so on and so forth. So actually the list is so long. If I could remember them all, I'd quote them, but there's 22 benefits of trees that environmentally help your surroundings. So, and the biggest one, of course, is it produces oxygen. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing. So at any rate, that's sort of the story of downtown Fallbrook and the Treescape Project. We recently assumed the responsibility for the beginning flower pot project that the Beautification Alliance had developed years ago. And we've removed all the pots, painted the pots because they'd been on the street so long they needed to be taken care of, spruced up. They needed, or else replaced because a lot of the plant material was not in good shape. So we painted the pots, bought new plant material, root pruned, put new dirt in, and it's a work in progress because it needs constant care. So, and we're working on trying to make it better. So we're in way too deep, Gabriel. Yeah. We can't get out now.
Fallbrook's huge, so there's a lot to.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. We've planted trees all the way out to the flagpole near old 395, not old 395, near the new 395. That on the curve there as you're exiting on East Mission. Yeah. We planted 12 oaks in there because it's out in the open. We had to go through the county, of course, because it's a county-owned property. And that inspired the one of our residents to donate money to put the flagpole up. And the chamber had a flagpole, and they installed the flagpole. So then a scout troop came along, and they were putting it up and taking it down. And then somebody got smart, and they got a meter put on, and there's a business in town that pays the electric bill.
Oh, nice.
So that the flag is lighted day and night. It's not lighted all the time. Yeah. So that was. We planted trees, as I say, 12 oaks and a lot of shrubs. A lot of them didn't make it, but some of them did. But and not all the trees made it, but some did.
What's your favorite shrub to plant? Your favorite shrub? So say for the shrubs on a list.
Those were native. One of the things that I really like in the native plants is what is it called now? It's a lavender colored. It looks like a gladiola. And it is a wonderful, beautiful, beautiful plant.
Is that purple looking one? Or?
Yeah, it's sort of lavender purple.
I think Jen has planted quite a few of those in the yard.
And it's native to California.
Yeah.
Native to this part of California. And right now it's not in my old head, the name of it, but it is a wonderful plant. And there's just tons of them, really.
Yeah.
So one of the best things we've done throughout this whole thing, Gabriel, I haven't even touched on, is back in 2004. I'm not going to be here forever. Neither are you.
That's
I know.
right.
Really?
That's right, yeah.
So who's going to carry on this?
Yeah.
Our kids. So we developed a program, Jean Dooley and myself. We went to the department head at the elementary school district and talked to him about how neat it would be if we could get the children involved in planting and learning about this.
That's great.
From his end, he was happy. We went to the curriculum department and talked to them about the idea. That was in 2004. And now we have this, what we call our environmental education program.
Right on.
Every year we go to the 4th grade class. We talk to them about the importance of native plants because they are geared to live in a dry climate.
Right.
They don't need a lot of water once they're established.
Yeah.
The importance of the benefits environmentally that they do for us. All plant material provides some oxygen exchange. And the third thing is to emphasize community service. So we have about 4th graders, attention span may not be forever, but we talk to them probably maybe a maximum of 20 minutes covering those 3 topics, trying to be as enticing as we can.
Yeah.
But it's easy to do when you're enthusiastic about it. And then they go out to a truck full of nice potting soil, baby native plants, and they pot this tiny 2-inch liner plant that's weeded, ready to go into a larger 1-gallon pot. Then when we started, here's how it worked. We took those back to what we called our Save Our Forest nursery, which was on the property of one of our volunteers at the time, Mike Peters, and who let us use probably a 1/4 acre on his property for our nursery.
How nice.
We raised them for a year. Then we went back and found those same 4th graders as 5th graders the following year. And we said, now we're going to take you on a field trip and you're going to plant them in one of the Land Conservancy's preserves. So then they get a little field trip to a preserve, and usually we try to take them on a walk through the preserve or whatever, so they have a real nice little outing for the morning. And in the meantime, while we're doing all this 2-year thing, we hope we're getting our replacements, mine.
Yeah.
Everybody else that works with our program, so that someday these children will have had this background and will be concerned about protecting the environment.
What a great idea.
So of all the things that we've done, and there are more, that's probably the most consequential thing that we've done. And so that's been going on every year since 2004.
Wow.
When we first started, we only had 5 schools in the our elementary school district. Now we are in 7 schools, Vallecillos and Rainbow. My goodness, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, take yourself a moment.
Anyhow, Vallecillos and Rainbow and Camp Pendleton schools also. So we talked to all those students, and Camp Pendleton was eager. I mean, just think they have to drive. One of their schools is clear out at San Onofre.
Oh,
and so they drive those kids all the way to Fallbrook and bring them in for their planting year. They do.
That's great.
And I'm hoping that's the biggest that's the second biggest investment. We've invested a lot planting trees for the future, but they're the ones that I'm counting on. I hope.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah. So one of the other things that we've done is there have been merchants in town have had a struggle for many years. When I came here in 1971, this was a booming little town. Temecula was one big manufacturer. That was it. There was nothing. Look what's there now.
Yeah.
Mega shopping.
I remember being a kid, there was nothing in Temecula. And having friends move there, and I'm like, oh, you're going to move out there?
Yeah,
Now-
traffic. Oh, man, the traffic is terrible.
Well, the traffic's rough now. Yeah.
So, at any rate, it was the end of a great life for Fallbrook, because why would you come to Fallbrook and shop when you can go 15 minutes on the road and you're at a mega shopping center?
Yeah, right? That's where we go now, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm not going. But at any rate, I don't have kids to raise anymore.
Yeah.
In those days, you couldn't. There was one store that carried, and that was the Mercantile. Juanita Walden had it. And you could buy everything, best quality, at that store. It's where the Grove is now on Main Street.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful department store. It was like a department store. You didn't have to leave Fallbrook. You buy shoes, underwear, clothes, all kinds.
Yeah.
And good quality stuff. So that was the way it was. Now it's very difficult for merchants to make it in downtown.
It is.
Yeah.
Jen and I talk about that a lot.
There's very little retail on Main Street anymore. Yeah. It's mostly service kind of stores. And it's just different. It's just different.
Yeah.
So things have changed a lot, and many of these merchants are barely making it, really. Yeah. I would imagine it's tough for them. So what we have done, of course, I've talked about the Flower Pot Project, which was originally developed by the Beautification Alliance, but it was to improve the downtown appearance, give it that country homey look that you sort of like, et cetera, et cetera. But there were areas that could you really use a little spoofing up as far as enhancement.
Yeah.
So we've done several of those kinds of things.
So downtown then, because I see the brought to you by Save Our Forest, those nice planters and some new trees down there. Right. And how recent was that? Was that project?
Well, we've done since the year 2022. We have done the Fallbrook Cafe. There was a huge, long planter area there that was a mass of invasive fountain grass. We took 5 dumpsters crammed full out of that one property that runs the entire length of that property.
I believe it. I've had grass kill one of my avocado trees.
Yeah. It's invasive fountain grass. It's terrible. And it's a feathery blossom, so the slightest wind blows the seed, and it starts a new plant, and you have to keep on top of it.
It's hard.
Quite frankly, it's in a lot of places downtown where it shouldn't be. But we started there with that, and we call those our community enhancements. So we work with the merchant. We tell him, we'll do the labor if you would pay for the plant material that we are going to plant for you. We'll come in and we talk to him about what we plan to do and design and so on and so forth. And when we give them a bill for the plant material that we've put in, and we've donated a lot of trees that we had on hand, but the other plants that we've planted. So if you take a real close look at Fallbrook Cafe, you'll see that entire front. We planted that. It took us about 5 or 6 months to do it.
Okay, yeah.
But we did that.
I like having waffles there.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that was one of our first projects. Then we recently, in 2023, we did 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And that was a big bunch of dirt right there in front where all the plants are.
Oh, really?
It was a big spot of dirt, and now it's planted. And it has the Historical Society was kind enough to display and use that place to display an antique plow. So that's on there, and then we've planted plant material all around it and plant material up by the store itself. And the next one we did was, you have to think about the medians. That was when we planted the medians, the plant material in the medians. We did that, was a community enhancement thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. I can't stand an ugly median.
I know
that's just
they're-
like
yeah,
cemented
yeah,
over.
I know.
Or
Yeah.
it's nice to have
Yes.
plants in
Yes.
the median.
And and then we did the cast parking lot across from the theater.
Oh, okay.
We took up the asphalt that was all along the edge between the trees and the things, and planted heavenly bamboo in there and put mulch on it, nice looking mulch to
Yeah.
cover, as a ground cover. And irrigation, we put in irrigation. By the way, we put in irrigation for 7-Eleven as well, and he paid for that. So, it was, it's a nice arrangement. We all, and I mentioned to you about our first community enhancement was the East Mission flagpole area where we planted oaks and native plants there. So we've done a few of those kinds of things because it's sort of rewarding to drive around.
Yeah.
I always used to, I'm not driving anymore, but I used to tell my friends, I said, when you see my green truck coming, you better watch out because I'm looking at the trees and what I'm going to do next. So at any rate, those are the things that I think we've accomplished to make Fallbrook a more beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
And the trees we've actually planted more than 3,000 trees in Fallbrook.
How wonderful.
Yeah, so you think, when you think about that number, that's a lot of trees.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
So now, all these years since those plantings occurred, which started in 1995, 96, we have always used donations once they got to a size where we couldn't prune them anymore. When they get above 25 feet, it's beyond us. We can't do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We planted the parking lot. That was bare, that big parking lot behind the Arts Center. That was there wasn't a tree there. We planted that.
Okay.
Planted the trees right on the street. That was that was in the year 2000. And those are Australian willows. The ones on the interior were a donation I got from a nursery out in Pala. They gave us those trees.
Which big trees at the Veterans Village Square? Just on the other side of Space 110.
Those are all that have the white flowers. Those are all the pears. They're
Okay.
aristocrat pears.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was curious
Yeah,
what that
right.
tree was.
And one of the significant trees in town, of course, we didn't plant, but it's over by Carl's Jr. There's a giant fig tree there that is in front, and it's right up behind Carl's. That's
Okay.
another significant tree in town. And one of my favorite trees in town is in front of the Blue Heron on Main Street in the first block north of Alvarado. And it's called a Cape Chestnut, and it's a giant tree. There's little history. There are now 3 of them left in town only.
Oh, wow.
Many, many, many years ago, probably, I know the year, 1957. Somebody found the article that was in the newspaper called the Enterprise before it became the Village News.
What a great name.
And the Fallbrook Women's Club in 1957 planted 100 Cape chestnuts on Main Street. Now, I don't know whether you've ever noticed it, Gabriel, but when it blooms, it has a candelabra of pink flowers. So that whole tree is covered with pink candelabras that are made up of tiny pink flowers. It's the most gorgeous tree you've ever seen.
I'm going to look out. Well, I'm going to have to know where to specifically look for them now.
Well,
you said there's only 3 left.
One of them is in front of Mia Miracle Bakery, which is down next door to the Mission Theater.
Oh, okay.
That's one.
All right.
There was one across the street where the Grove is, which is that fitness place.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'll go there with
But
Jen and do Pilates.
that one's gone because it was almost dead, and we took it out and these things you run into you just can't believe. We thought, there's no trees over here. There's 2 trees that are on the end of that block where the brewery is.
Yeah.
They're called carrot woods. And there's 2 trees. I learned the history of those. They were moonlighted in. I won't even mention who planted them, but I do know who planted them. They did it without a permit. And then there the trees in front of the coffee shop, the hearth.
Yeah.
Those trees were moonlighted in also, and they're also carrot woods. Same
okay.
people. The history of Fallbrook sometimes is not known.
I like that word you use, moonlighted in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we decided that there needed to be more trees from those two lone carrot woods down at the north end of the first block north of Alvarado, on the west side of the street, so I called Dig Alert, which of course you have to call because you never know what's underground, right? So you call Dig Alert, sewer line, couldn't plant there. So that's why there are above ground containers. We have above ground containers with Arbutus marina in it, which is a native tree, by the way, but it's a smaller tree. It doesn't grow real big. So it's allowed by the county. So at any rate, that's the story on those. Some people ask me, why do you have those above ground? Well, we can't plant there because the sewer line is right under the sidewalk.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only place the sewer line comes onto Main Street at East Mission. It makes a left turn there. It comes down Main Street under the sidewalk all the way down to Alvarado.
Okay.
It takes a drastic right turn to the middle of the street, then makes a drastic left turn onto the alley behind the Art and Cultural Center.
Huh.
And so you have to avoid that area, see? So we couldn't plant on the sidewalk,
Yeah.
but then it went out into the street, so it's out of the way. Yeah, and of course we're not going to plant in the street, and we aren't planting in the alley, so that was
Yeah.
fine. So at any rate, you learn all kinds of things when you have to do all this investigation and
Right.
figure it out. So amazing. So all those trees. One of the grants that we got for downtown, we were lucky enough to get AmeriCorps to come
yeah.
three times.
Yeah.
And we got a grant from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection for $27,500. And we planted 410 trees 1 year in 3 months' time because we had AmeriCorps. They come for 3 months when you apply for them.
Yeah.
So they helped us plant all those trees in town. And, I'd look back on that and I think, I got to know the guy from the county real well because I had to get a permit for every one of those trees. Whew, what a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a fun thing. They actually came to us being part of the Land Conservancy twice, and then once the Land Conservancy got them to come 1 year, and they painted the Palomares house on the outside. Painted the whole house.
Oh, wow.
But the other time there was up at Heller's Bend, we took them up there to the preserve called Heller's Bend. It's out off of the the west side of town, and they helped us take out all of the old lemon grove there because a lot of oaks were coming up naturally because we'd sowed some acorns up there. Oh. And so the oak grove that you see up there now at the top of Heller's Bend, which is quite a steep walk up, was cleared of the lemon grove to make way for the oak trees.
Oh, wow.
So they helped us get rid of the old lemon grove, which was a dead wood. They'd just been let to die. It was just a whole grove of lemon trees that was totally dead. And they cleared 47 acres or something.
Oh, Lord, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. So at any rate, we had them for that time too. So what they were called, they're cute because they're young college kids.
Yeah.
And they all have a name. One of them was the Untouchables. They called themselves the Untouchables. I thought some of them were really funny. Nice kids. They came from all over,
Yeah.
right? And the program finds a place for them. And for us here in Fallbrook, they stayed at the mobile home park that's on Mission Road going into Oceanside, near the park.
I was at AmeriCorps Vista for a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did that with the International Rescue Committee locally in San Diego.
Oh, really?
So we
Oh, my.
worked with refugees and stuff. So Yeah.
Yeah.
I did, but there was a lot though that also focused on
Right.
nature, the environment.
Right.
But specifically, yeah, how could we make America better? Yeah.
Right. So anyway, sort of that, man, I got carried away here. I gave you almost the whole story.
Well, it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It's special.
Anyway, I'm Gabriel. I'm 94. I gotta stop. I've got to find somebody to take over this because I just don't dig holes good anymore.
That's
I can't.
right. Well, what do you have? Do you have a successor in mind right now?
Oh yes, I do. I have nice people. I have a very good person who
Good.
I think is going to work out very well.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just that there's so much involved. All the records I've been keeping all these years because I've got 3 filing cabinets. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stuff that I'm not a good thrower away. I don't throw things
yeah.
away. I keep everything. So I'm sure a lot of that's going to go.
Yeah.
Don't need it for now. They'll do just fine going on. Anyway, it's been a good ride, and it's kept me busy, and I like being busy. Having been a Navy wife all those years, I was involved with the Officers' Wives Club. I'm involved with the Enlisted Wives Club. I've done a lot of things in my early life that I think sort of prepared me to be ready to take on a little more work. So,
Yeah.
but it's been a good thing because I certainly haven't been sitting in the chair rocking because it's been a lot of work.
Yeah. And as you've aged and staying busy in a healthy way with the community, with nature, with the environment, how do you think that's really helped you in a positive way as you've aged?
Oh, I think I'm pretty healthy for my age.
I think so too. Your brain is
I'm
sharp.
not really good. I'm not really good right now physically because I've just had a hip surgery and have had some consequences afterwards. But I'm good. I'm coming along good. I can walk, and I'm
Yeah.
almost ready to give up my cane, but not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, Jenna was just telling me the other day, you're like, God, just throw my hip back into place and get me going.
Well, yeah, I know. Oh man, that was not fun.
No.
I
can't
dislocated it.
imagine.
It's apparently very easy if you make the wrong move, which I did. I'm dumb. I knew I was making the wrong move when I did it, but I did it anyway. And it popped out of the joint.
Oh, boy.
So that day wasn't a very good day until
That
they...
hurt a lot? What's that like?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah?
I've never begged for anything, but I begged for them to please fix me.
Yeah.
They finally sedated me at the hospital and popped it back in place. It's sore,
Yeah.
but I'm fine.
Well, how long ago did that happen?
That happened last Monday.
Last Monday?
Yes.
I see you walking about today. Well, right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. I'm good.
Yeah.
I know I will. I'm already better in just this week. Yeah.
Well, and how did it come out of place? Were you just walking about, or were you
Well,
in the garden? What
no,
happened?
I was doing what I was not supposed to be doing. You can lean over a little bit,
Yeah.
so you're a square. You're not supposed to double. But I leaned over a square, and then I twisted to the side, and it popped out to my left.
Oh boy.
So my femur joint popped out of the hip joint,
Oh, man.
up in the pelvis. You have the hip.
Yeah.
You have in your pelvis. You have this joint where the femur fits in there.
Right.
Well, this went out like that.
Oh man.
Painful.
Yeah, it sounds it.
It was. But
Do you say
So-
any curse words, or do you curse under your breath?
no, my biggest word was please. Oh my gosh, it was awful.
Yeah,
it was
no,
terrible.
it sounds
Anyway, it's all over, and I'm
Yeah.
certainly not going to do that again, Gabriel. I learned my lesson.
So is that hip replaced then, or was that just natural?
The hip pelvis part is natural.
Yeah.
I broke we were planting trees in April. We were planting 2 new 36-inch box trees in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I got tangled up. My feet got tangled up in a rope, and I fell.
Oh, boy.
And it broke the joint part of the femur
Oh wow.
off here at the neck.
Yeah.
So now I'm a bionic woman now. I have a titanium joint.
Oh wow.
So that joint, that whole thing slipped out of the pelvis, hip place, the
Yeah.
hip joint, where it goes. It's
That was
flipped
just this last
this Monday.
or when you got that titanium. When was that?
That was April 27th.
Of this year?
Yes.
Look at you. Good recovery.
Oh, yeah, I was doing fine
Yeah.
until I did that dumb thing.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, you just about got the story of my life. Almost, Gabriel.
Yeah. Well, how'd you meet your husband?
I met him at church.
That's right. You said that.
Yeah.
Was
and
that church local? Which church
no,
was
it was
this?
in my hometown, Norwalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was born and raised in the area in Norwalk. So I never knew him before, but he was had already been in the Navy 7 years. So
Okay.
see, he had 7 years already when I married him.
Oh.
So,
You knew what you were getting into.
yeah, I knew well, you never know what
Well,
you're getting
yeah.
into. And I was a real hick from the sticks, believe me. My first place we went was San Francisco, and I realized right away I didn't fit. But that was back in the days when
Yeah.
life was far more stringent than dress-wise and everything. You know,
Yeah.
you didn't go to downtown San Francisco without a hat on. That was, oh no, never. You might even carry gloves. I mean, that's how it was. Life was big difference. I mean, we now wear our sweats, we wear shorts wherever we're going, and here I am in what I've been wearing all day long. Well, here I am, Gabriel. This is the way you get me.
Well, Jenna made me take off my golf attire for you. She's
Oh.
so you got to dress up. I'm like, I think I got a button-up shirt.
Okay, I got it. Anyway,
I know you want the future generation to care about the environment.
right, and that's the
Let it
most
look
important
pretty.
thing right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. It's up and down, Gabriel. Sometimes we're real good. We have plenty of volunteers.
Yeah.
Because even though we have the benefit now of some help with the cost of doing business, so to speak, for us,
Yeah.
with donations, but we have this new community benefit program that's developed here in Fallbrook,
I hear about
where
that.
we can get some aid for things that benefit everybody in the community. But the point is that there's still somebody has to guide it and lead it. You know, somebody has to be there to say, well, here's what we need, and so on and so forth. So that has changed. It's very helpful. We still have 2 work parties a month, Save Our Forest does, the 3rd Wednesday and the last Sunday of the month.
Okay.
We meet at the Village Square at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Both of those days, we work for 2 hours. We're done. So whatever we can achieve in 2 hours, we get it done. Whether there's a dozen people or whether there's 3 or 2, we do it. We work. And so that we're still hanging in there, because there's a lot of stuff that is done individually and stuff that I feel would be wrong to hire, get community funds to pay and use those funds to pay. But we still have a worker. We have a part-time employee. If a watering system that we're allowed to use breaks, we repair it.
Yeah.
Things that volunteers can't do, he repairs and fixes so that we're functioning. It's not a lot, but we're still paying for that because that's not something I can contract for, So at any rate, we're still doing that. But it's been very helpful to be able to hire a professional now that our trees are mature.
Yeah.
And it's not a job for volunteers. I mean, even we've done some ladder work, but not a bunch, because I just feel uncomfortable about somebody falling off of a ladder,
Right. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so at any rate, we're still doing what we did before forever, but just not the big stuff, not the stuff that really is impossible for us to do. So that's the way, because, we have to watch out for overhead wires, et cetera. As I mentioned very much earlier, the 16-foot road clearance, all of those things sometimes are way too big for us to
Oh, yeah.
to worry about. So we still are working. Still are.
Yeah.
It isn't totally being paid for by somebody else, by you.
Right.
most of the concept of the community benefit district is that Fallbrook Utility District ratepayers contribute $5 a month for projects that benefit them and the rest of the community.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how that works, and people do not mind. I mean, $5 a month, so that's $60 a year. So.
Yeah, and it adds up if we got 50,000 people. In
Yeah.
Fallbrook.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not people; it's ratepayers.
Ratepayers.
Meters.
Meters. So okay.
So that's per meter. So if you use 5,000
Got it.
gallons a week
Yeah.
or whatever, you pay $5. If I use 20,000 gallons a week as a restaurant or they pay $5. So everybody just pays $5.
Yeah. Maybe we'll change it someday based upon how much carbon they use.
Maybe. Got to measure.
Yeah.
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 Well, what would be your next beautification idea for Fallbrook? What would you like to see?
Here's what I'd like to see. Really, truly, the invasive fountain grass that I mentioned to you
Yeah.
is a huge problem.
Can't stand grass.
It grows. I got it on my phone. I can show you a picture sometime. But
Yeah.
it is so aggressive. Right behind the thrift shop that's across the street from the Fallbrook Cafe at Brandon and East Mission.
Yeah.
Behind the big thrift shop that's there is an entire lot that is solid. Many people grow it because they like it. I've tried to talk to members to places on Main Street that had it in their parking lot. And I said, I'd like to work with you and help you get rid of this invasive fountain grass that's bordering his entire parking lot.
Yeah.
I like it. I want it. So it's on the north end of town, and so it blows off. Those little seeds get in the gutter.
Yeah.
Water comes along, washes all those seeds, and it's clear down on South Mission.
Oh, man.
So it just carries those seeds, and wherever they light and stay, they grow. It's extremely, the alleys are just full of it. I have mapped it, and it's appalling.
I'm going to have to see that grass because some type of grass smothered one of my avocado trees. And
Yeah.
I just couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
I tried digging it out, tearing it out. I used
See, the
vinegar.
problem is most people, use a shovel or a hoe, and they come along and you spread the seed everywhere when you're doing it.
Yeah.
So what we discovered, we've done this in some cases. I'll tell you what kills it.
Yeah, what?
30% vinegar.
I did that, and then it grew back. So now I threw cardboard on top of it.
That's good.
Now I'm just
Yeah.
like, whatever.
No, that's going to work. That's
Yeah.
really going to work. We have killed it. Here's the method we discovered, but who wants to do this? Big, huge thing where you can just barely get your arms around it. You very carefully get your arms around the big growth of this one big plant that's giant. You take duct tape and you tape it tightly together. You put over the blossoms a plastic bag, okay?
Okay.
Then you take your hedger, something like that, and cut it off below the tape. So you've got this bundle encased in a big plastic bag, and you seal it up real tight so no seeds get away, and put it in your dumpster, okay? Then you pour 30% vinegar on the stump that's left in the ground, and it kills it.
I've noticed that does a good trick because we don't want to use any chemicals here either on our property.
Right.
So
the vinegar is going to kill anything around it.
we use that for weeds too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does a real good trick, especially on the sun. We do it in the morning. Sun comes out.
When the wind's not blowing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you spray it or do you dump it?
We spray it. We got like that backpack.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Just the electric.
It's expensive. I mean, it isn't cheap to buy 30% vinegar. I think it's
No, it's not.
it's like $30 a gallon or
It
something.
can be, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but it's better for the environment too. It doesn't have all
Right.
that.
Eventually, the rain comes and it washes it in the ground.
Right.
But if there's anything growing around it, it's going to kill that
Yeah.
also.
It drives me crazy to see all these for like chemicals and these weed killer stuff. And I'm just
I
like,
know.
really,
It's
guys?
better not to do it.
It's like, just use vinegar.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Right.
A little vinegar and soap.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
way better.
Yeah, and we have had to have downtown sprayed before we had it done professionally a few years back because there were several trees that were just covered with aphids, and they're messy when they get so thick. They sort of ooze stuff,
Yeah.
and the sidewalks were, the merchants were very upset.
Yeah.
So we hired a professional to come in and spray, but we haven't had to do it for a while.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I use predatory insects from.
Yeah.
So I establish colonies of like lacewings.
Yes.
And they take care of a lot of the like insects for me.
Ah.
Yeah. And so what's nice about lacewings is once they're in a region, they'll establish a colony and help take care of that spider mites.
So how do you get them established?
Just introduce them into an area. So I'll buy them from like Arbico Organics or some other type of organic a company that has predatory insects. And so like I'm going to grow grapes. And so I use predatory spider mites to eat mites so I can have organic fruit, organic grapes.
Right.
And so I'm really into using predatory insects, which is tough though. If there's already an infestation and it's a big tree, that's a lot of hard work to spray it with a bunch of
Right.
vinegar.
Yeah, these
and
trees
water.
that we had sprayed were big, huge.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes it's overwhelming,
It is. It's
right.
a lot.
Yeah.
It is. I lost a lot of my hair just trying to think of how to save the garden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't like to use any of those really powerful things to kill bugs downtown where, because it's very difficult to find a time to spray
Yeah.
when there's not somebody around,
Right.
Yeah, so.
So
anyway.
yeah. So I'll have to. So somebody wants to be a part of the program of Save Our Forest. So you said on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yes, the third Wednesday and the last Sunday. It's always been the third Wednesday and the last Sunday for the last 30 years. So.
At the Fallbrook Village Square, the Veteran Square.
Right, that's where they come. Or they can go online to the Fallbrook Land Conservancy's website and sign up to be a volunteer, and you indicate where you want to work, what you want to do. You want to work at a preserve, or do you want to work with the tree people, save our forest, what you would like to do. So
How wonderful.
Maybe somebody will hear this and they'll come and help us.
That's the idea.
The point is, Gabriel, that you don't have to come every time. I do. I got to be there. When you got to be there. But you don't have to come every time. If you came one time a month, that's one time that would, you'd spend 2 hours working in town. That's not a big deal. It's not. It just breaks up your day.
Yeah.
But it's early in the morning. You can start later.
That's right.
So at any rate.
And there's a coffee shop across the street.
Oh, yes.
Baking it up. Oh, the best. Pastries.
Yeah.
Goods.
So you can just live it up.
That's right.
Come out for a cup of coffee and do a little work beforehand.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a it's a project that we started. Roger stepped in at a tremendous time to help with his knowledge, because he had a lot of knowledge that I didn't have at the time. But I soon learned the hard way. So at any rate, it was great. I was grateful for his help at that point, because those early years were, when we planted the parking lot, I got a donation of 18 15-gallon trees. We thought, now, these are ready. They need to be out of those 15-gallon trees, but we don't want to put those young trees in the parking lot by themselves. And we want to grow them a little bit so they'll have a better root ball before we put them in the ground. So we bought 24-inch pots. We put them in 24-inch pots. They were in 24-inch pots for probably 3 or 4 years. I had and I didn't mention some of the people that actually helped us so much. Because when you got 18 trees that need to be hand watered, because there's no water available there other than from the businesses that allow us to use their water with hoses, the Care Right organization that is here in town. They bought their clients, and they would water them once a week. So that was a great thing, because I'm already asking the volunteers to come and do a lot of work, and then they have to come and water them once a week also. So that worked out for probably 15 years, because after the 24s, they outgrew the 24s. Then we put them in 36-inch boxes. I got Pardee is a big grower out here, and also a big home developer. But they were very generous, and they gave me 18 36-inch boxes. So they were there. They were in those for probably at least 4 years. The last, and that was, and then in the year 2007, they were just ugly wooden boxes. So the high school art department brought their students, and they all had a box to paint on, and they painted designs on the outside of the box. So they were quite attractive then for a while.
Nice. Yeah.
Then we put them in the ground when they got big, nice root ball in that 36-inch box. Then we put them in the ground. So those trees have had a lot of TLC, believe me. So
right on. I'm curious. Does the county approve any like fruit trees that can be planted in?
No, they don't. There are no fruit trees
There's
on the
a
list.
big movement with people I was working with was food, not lawns. And the idea is, if we're going to plant a tree, let's plant something that gives us food or nourishment, or a high producer of CO2 or a high carbon drawdown. And so I was just curious. So that'd be something.
And we had at the when we first started, we had 2 volunteers who I don't remember the company that we worked for, but he'd lived in Spain and a lot of European countries when he was working for this company. And in there, they do encourage fruit trees and that are planted on their streets, but that's not here.
Yeah.
You stop and think about the fruit falling and all of that. It would be, no city wants to have to maintain that.
Yeah.
A lot of care for fruit trees.
Well, our cities want to say affordable access to food.
Right.
Why don't we just plant easy, accessible, affordable food?
Yeah, I know.
It's not hard. It's not.
You got to change the brain of those people. Good luck.
Yeah.
At any rate, I think that, for instance, we have our community garden here that was started by the Mission Resource Conservation District. So there are fruit trees in there that they've planted. They've planted them, but you can rent a space there for your own personal use.
Oh, nice.
And that's very nice. They allowed us to use their, there's a building in our community garden, which is on Alturas, that we built. We built a shade cover, and it's a very nice little shade cover for our environmental education program.
Oh, nice.
So during the year that they are growing, or the time frame, we've sort of changed the policy there because they've helped us at the Land Conservancy find sources of buying native plants that being able to buy them with a grant. They found a couple of sources. So the last couple of years, instead of growing them from tiny babies for a whole year, they've bought them they do the planting usually like in December and January is when they plant them in the ground. So they'll bring them in the early fall and put them into gallon size and then grow them for maybe 3 months, and then they put them in the ground. So they're getting a larger size plant. It's in a 4-inch pot instead of being a little 2-inch liner.
Yeah.
So it gives the plant a nice opportunity because it's got a bigger root system.
Right.
And that is a benefit. The bigger the root system for native plants, particularly, is very important because that's where they're depending upon whatever they can suck out of the ground.
Right.
To be alive. So that's been very beneficial lately. Been able to get the grant money for it. But all those years up until just the last few years, we were growing them. So had to have somebody to water those babies all the time.
It's work.
Yeah, it was.
It's hard work.
Right. Our nursery that I mentioned that we had out on Mike Peters' property, we've had as many as 4,000 plants and trees in there.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work. Right. one of the Marine officer that got the tent that I talked about. He was a go-getter. His name was Howard Sansom. He managed that nursery. He terraced the whole side of a hill to be able to sit them on flat land, and created the growing grounds, and took care of those for probably 15 years.
Oh, wow.
That nursery. So at any rate, it was wonderful when you have a dedicated volunteer like that.
Right.
He had
With
his
that type of discipline.
yeah,
too.
yeah, that discipline. That's
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
So lots of water under the bridge, lots of good memories, Gabriel. A lot of great people. Some of those people, you know, God, I've got to sit and study the pictures I have of some of those early people 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't, sometimes I look and I think, who is that? I can't remember their name. But I finally come up with it. At any rate, it's in there somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. It's been my salvation, because otherwise I probably would have been gone a long time ago. I think it really, when you're active and doing things,
Yes.
it's a secret, Gabriel. You'll get there. It's you just got to keep going and not give up.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
I went to an aging conference once, and I forget her name, this actress who was a dancer on the TV show called Taxi.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And so
It was a series.
Yeah, and so there was an actress from there, and she was so lively, and she would just keep saying, "The motion is the lotion. The motion is the lotion." And
yeah.
I'm just like, it's stuck with me ever since. And it just makes so much sense. We have to stay in motion for our minds, our bodies, our spirit.
My gosh.
And
got to keep the blood moving.
that's right. And and I see it in you as a living example,
Right.
active in the community and just staying busy in a healthy way. And
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I totally agree. I've pounded that into my kids' head too, because, you know, my kids are all, you know, my girls are in their 60s and my son's 74. Got to keep moving, girls. Can't just sit. So.
yeah. And they're at the Grove. Amy's doing Pilates for aging and for seniors too now.
Oh, is she really?
So she's specifically focusing on aging, and I think
didn't
that's
know
great.
that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
I
great.
need-
She'd love to work with you.
I'm
there.
thinking I need a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, what's great about those reformers is they have springs on them, and you can do a certain level of difficulty, and so you can choose not a lot of resistance.
Oh, really?
To more resistance, and so
Right.
I think it's
Right.
a really great way to exercise as we age. I mean, at first I thought, that's just for injured people and women, and then Jenna took me to a class and with Amy, and I'm like, okay, this is some good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Boy,
so,
that gives me an idea, because when I feel if you stop, it's over.
that's right.
So when this physical therapy guy who's helping me now is done with me, maybe I need to go to that place and do that.
Yeah. Amy's got a class, and then she does privates, and
Right.
and they're at the Grove downtown, so it's
Right.
not far. And
Yeah.
she'd love to work with you.
Her name is Amy?
Yeah, Amy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll write that down so I won't forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, you know, I'm downtown a lot early in the morning, because that's a better time to be there with things. And the Grove, and then this Sage Meadow, which is Sage, it's across the street. There's a lot of people that come there for those two programs.
Yeah, I go to yoga, Sage Yoga, and I love it. And
Yeah.
I used to just do yoga to prevent injuries from martial arts.
Oh.
And then I got injured in martial arts here and there, and I always use the yoga to rehabilitate my body. And so there's restorative classes that are very easy, especially for people your age. It's, you lie on a pillow and maybe just do a posture, support yourself. So there's a lot of, doesn't have to be crazy.
Right.
And so the idea is just moving our body, like you said. And, and so it's nice to have options in town to stay active.
Well, I always am amazed when this physical therapist comes. The things he has me do are so simple.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, why am I so sore the next day? Because he's working muscles that you normally use in an everyday situation. You know, so I'm not out digging or anything or doing anything now for sure. But the point being that how can I be so sore and not feel good the day after? I mean, there must be really something good that he's doing
Yeah.
to make you have that reaction. So
Yeah.
you just don't realize it sometimes. I guess even with as active as I've been, I'm down. I'm not perfect for sure.
That's right. And it's also why I love cross training. So I do the yoga, I do the Pilates now, and then I do weight training in my garage. Why? Because the more I physically train, the longer I notice I can be outside in the garden.
Oh yeah.
And so the
Your
stronger
stamina is so much better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I can, because it's hard work on the body.
Yeah, I know.
Digging holes, weeding,
Yes, it
trimming
is.
branches. And
I know.
it's a lot.
I'm with you. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a good thing to keep that in mind. Aging is not fun for a lot of people. They end up crippled. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let that happen.
That's right.
I'm not.
That's the attitude.
I just got to remember what I'm doing. See, I lost my cool when I made that crazy twist and popped that thing out. So.
Were you stressed out? What was going on?
Oh, I was anxious because I didn't even mention this to you, Gabriel, but we're making a video. There are so many people that keep telling us, "Gosh, you've done so much. You're not just people taking care of trees. You have done these community enhancement projects. You're taking on another community enhancement project with a pot. You're doing all this stuff." So this gal who's been a photographer for us for quite some time and taken jillions of pictures for us was really impressed with our track record, with all those things we've done. And so she inspired us to make a video. We had the video, The Necklace of Leaves, which is on the website at the Land Conservancy, which is a beginner's tutorial type of thing. And it tells you how to start from scratch, get yourself into a nonprofit position, talk to your merchants downtown. I remember when Jim Frieda, one of my best volunteers, who's long since gone, we walked Mission Street Road, we walked Main Street, we talked to every merchant, got them interested in having a tree, and so on and so forth. And it took a long time. But all of those steps are important to know how to get started. But what else can you do? I mean, so now we've done several of these enhancement projects, which we sort of feel are nice. So for small communities like Fallbrook, which there are lots of them in the U.S., there has to be tons of them out there, who are not incorporated, who have no city tax money to pay for anything.
Right.
It's a do-it-yourself place. And so all these other things we now are going to document and send to a lot of organizations such as the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, the Arbor Day Foundation. There's just all kinds of California Relief. Every state has some kind of an environmental education unit that have started up from scratch and are doing it. So it will be a learning tool for them. What else can you do for your community? So my volunteers, I call them mine, my volunteers, they're always so proud of what they've done, because when you take a bare piece of dirt that's just dirt and turn it into a nice garden, it makes you feel good every time you see it. You're thinking, gee, I helped do that. So
I'm going to have to show you a little bit of my garden when we're done.
All right. Yeah. I'd love to see it. Yeah,
I work hard.
So good. That's good. So anyhow, we are working on this video on right now. We're starting on it and getting it going. So we'll get it circulated. I'm certain it'll be picked up when we get it done, and people can get it probably online or whatever, and show it to their community, and maybe it'll inspire them to do great things.
That's the idea.
I'm really sort of proud of this group of people because they've been willing to step in and do things that they didn't anticipate, and felt good about doing it, adding to the community. So I think that's a good thing. It is.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I love the idea too of sharing that information for the rest of the United States.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, I think it'll work. I really do. The National Arbor Day Foundation is a fantastic group, and they are I get their, I'm a member, and I get their, they have a monthly newsletter that comes out. Well, it's not monthly. I think it's quarterly that comes out, and they're always picking up on some organization that's done something real special.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, Gabriel, none of them have done what we've done. So
I
really.
believe it.
Yeah, so at any rate, I'm proud of our group. They are wonderful people who have a good feeling about what they've done and realized the benefit that it's given the community. So it's a good thing. Good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Jackie, for your stewardship of the community, and
Yes. Well,
thank you.
yeah, I have a group called Tree Stewards. Quite
That's
frankly,
funny.
yeah, that they are a National Charity League TikTokers.
Oh, wow.
The girls who are members, and National Charity League is a national organization, and they're teenagers from really the beginning of the teens when they're like in the 6th, 7th grade, and then through high school. This is the age limit, and they adopt trees and water. So.
How wonderful.
Yeah, so that's getting some of them in there for sure. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I've enjoyed talking to you. You know, it's always fun for me because I relive all these things every time I tell somebody this story.
And it's great. And this is just the first time, so we'll have to do it again. And
Well, maybe so. Maybe we'll have something new to tell you.
I'm sure. Well, you got lots of projects I
Yeah,
hear, and
we do.
there's always opportunities to dream up ways to.
Yeah.
Like you said, that video
Yeah.
of how do we reach out to the rest of America.
Yeah.
For unincorporated
Right.
communities.
There's got to be other little
that
communities.
right there, and and then this can serve as a platform
Right,
too
right.
to get out that word. And
Right.
So where can people? So what's the website again?
It's the Fallbrook Land Conservancy. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, .org.
.org. Got
Yeah.
it. Perfect. And so
And they'll find the necklace of leaves on there for sure.
perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's right there. This is just by having this being here, we're sharing this, and then I'll post this on YouTube
Right.
and all the other
Don't
stuff.
forget, Wednesdays, the third Wednesday and the last Sunday.
That's
Save
right.
our forest.
That's right, at the Fallbrook Village Square, the Veterans Square.
Right, yeah.
At what time in the morning?
8:30.
8:30 in the morning. That's right.
Work for 2 hours only. We quit at 2 hours. We don't go any longer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be all the time. It doesn't-
No, once in a while is
Yeah.
great.
Once a quarter, once a month,
Once, yeah,
once a whatevers.
yes.
Yeah.
Those whatevers are the ones I like.
You'll get me a once a whatevers.
All right, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gabriel.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, it's been fun for me.
My pleasure.
All right.
All right.